Hi and welcome back to our tutorials on portrait retouching. The third of these tutorials we're going to be looking at how to enhance the lips, and without further ado we're going to shoot over to Bridge. We're going to select the image and we're just going to open the image up in Photoshop. We're just going to zoom in so we just have the lips in our frame. First thing we have to do is select the lips. Now with selection there are numerous ways to select. One can just do a general selection by grabbing the polygon lasso tool or any one of these. The lasso tool, the polygon lasso tool, or the magnetic lasso tool, any of them work in very much the same way, although as you'll see when I do one, they are very imprecise tools to use. But how we're going to be using the filters to achieve our effect with for the lips, precise selection is not really that necessary. I'm just going to change the image mode from a 16-bit channel to an 8-bit channel. That will allow us to use all the filters that are available in Photoshop. Another selection you can use, if you have to open up this box, you have the magic wand or the quick selection tool. If you grab the quick selection tool and you go to the very first icon at the top and you just move over the color that you wish to select. See, Photoshop makes a fairly good idea. And if you want to remove some aspects like this part here and this part underneath the lip here, you just go to the remove part of the brush, subtract from selection and paint out, and then you'll just do that in the bottom here too, and then we've got a fairly good selection. If you look what's happening in our layers palette, we just got the one layer. Last time when we pressed Ctrl J and there was nothing selected, the whole image got duplicated. But now we have a selection on a layer. If we press Ctrl J again and had to turn off this background layer, you see that the lips have now what we call been floated onto a new layer. These lips are themselves pixels living on a new layer. If I turn on the background layer underneath, they come into perspective. What we're going to do with the lips, we're going to apply our filter to them. I'm just going to turn off the background layer just so you can focus on the lips. The filter, we go Filter, Artistic, Plastic Wrap, and a new dialog opens up, and this is the dialog which handles a lot of the filters. There are a number of different sliders to do with one, and these you must just move back and forth until you get what you feel is the amount of plastic wrap you wish to have on the lips. Recall that once the plastic wrap filter has been okayed, then the blending mode and the opacitive blending mode will actually make the realism of the plastic wrap come to the fore, where now it's not going to look realistic. So with that in mind, I'm just going to drag the slide exactly the opposite way, just so you can see the difference of when you do drag the slider. Here we can see that not a lot is being offered, with a lot of different markings here, and that was the smoothness. So if we just dial our smoothness out, you can see where those markings have gone. And here we've got fairly big lumps, so we're going to take that away with the detail. And that's about right. We're going to click OK. And now the filter has been applied to layer 1. And then if we turn on our background layer, you can now see it with layer 1 active. And if I turn off layer 1, you'll see that our original layer is still untouched. The trick to using the lips with a filter is to change the blending mode and the opacity of the blending mode. But before we go any further, we're just going to double click on the word layer 1 and we're going to rename it lips. Then we're going to move over to the blending mode and we're going to change the blending mode to soft light, and we're going to take the opacity and we're going to dial the opacity right down. And if I have to toggle the lips on and off now, you can see there's a slight movement in gloss and in color. Let me just increase that a little bit more. And let's do it for you again. It's a slight movement in color. And if I have to just decrease the size of this, going to the zoom tool, clicking the Alt button to make the negative appear, just making it smaller. I have to toggle it on and off now. You can see your lips look a lot more healthier than they did on the original image in the sunset. And that's how we do lips in Photoshop CS5. We trust you enjoyed. I'll leave the lips on. Until the next tutorial, good night.